Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello. And today, our big news is that the phone support will be ending and that they are adjusting how they're handling support for the future.
Just a moment of silence with taps. Yes, this is sad news, but I guess it's good news that there's still in-game support, so support's not going away. Cold Blue over on the forums posted that, and he says, quote, "Greetings on Monday, June 6th, which, as a matter of fact, is today, as we record this."
So Monday, June 6th is the D-Day for this.
I see what you did there, Pine. We will be expanding our online and in-game support services as part of our efforts to provide speedier and higher quality responses to some help requests. As a result, phone support will no longer be available for Dungeons & Dragons Online. And as a side note, this also affects Lotro as well. For account and billing-related issues, you can continue to contact us online via the support.turbine.com web support page. And if you would like to request assistance within the game itself, simply click the new ticket button at the top of the help panel as always. Thank you, Cold Blue. So it's sad, but at least, like I said, we still have in-game support, and maybe this will make the in-game support a little better.
We hope.
I know I've never called phone support, so I don't know. I can't speak of if it was wonderful, if it wasn't wonderful. I've heard good things about phone support from people. And I know I've used in-game support a few times, and I have used the support.turbine site a couple times too for some problems, and that got taken care of pretty speedily for me. So overall, I don't see a big issue with this. It's not as bad as what a lot of people, of course, when stuff like this happens, as we said last week, people don their tinfoil hats, and these conspiracy theorists come out of the woodwork. Not that big a deal.
Unless they say there's a conspiracy against phone support.
Well, yes, that could be true. But overall, it's not that bad of a thing. Like I said, in-game support and online support is still there. So Lotro and DDO is not going anywhere, folks. No need to worry.
All right.
Keep calm and keep killing the kobolds.
But the kobolds still hate you.
Nice.
Yes. So let's head into store sales. Anything nice for sale this week?
There's some good stuff this week. 25% off augments, jewelers' toolkits, select cosmetics, select cosmetic hats, helms, and headwear. Also, at 25% off, our free sample of the week is a wonderful free sample. You will get 10 astral shards when you use the coupon code SHARDS. And that is one per account, so choose your server wisely. But once again, 10 astral shards as the free sample with the coupon code SHARDS.
I think I better log in and take care of that now, otherwise I will forget.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss this sample. It's always good when they do it. And they don't do the astral shards as the free sample very often.
I didn't know they've ever done it before.
Yeah, it's been, I'm trying to think the last time they had them as a free sample. It's been a long time.
I must have missed that one. Alas. So therefore, let's head into our site news. And DDO players, we had a little poll on what is your favorite part of the new producer's letter.
We had a total of 48 voters in our poll this week.
Ooh.
And the overwhelming number one choice at 50% of the votes was the classic Assault on the Slave Lord's Dungeon module coming to DDO. In a second place, we had the work to combat the lag is moving right along.
Always a favorite.
Tiefling and Aasimar coming in the far off future was also at 25% of the vote.
I think that would have been higher if it were near future instead.
I agree, yes. But just to know that it's there, it will be coming at some point, is good enough for me. Go Tiefling, all I'm going to say. And the new enhancement tree at some point in the future, 23%. The Monk class pass at 15. The augment system changes, 8%. More Night Rebels coming, also at 8%. 6% for the more Mimic Festival. The ever popular Other, was at 4% with 2 votes. Favored Soul class, which I see I have a typo there that I did not see when I first did this poll, is 2% at 1% and nothing at 2%.
So therefore, the favored soul wasn't very favored.
Apparently not. More Monk people than Favored Souls, at least the people that voted in our poll.
Right. And CD said, my other is the fact that Kobold PCs have at least made it to the discussion table. That wasn't in the letter itself, but in the follow-up replies, if those count.
Does anybody really want to play a Kobold?
Well, you got to remember is that one of my favorite characters I've played in pen and paper was a Kobold.
Well, I guess that is true.
So therefore, it's a possibility, even if a little weird.
And Dantel in our chat room is saying he voted for the Slave Lords, so he was one of the 50% that voted for that.
Then let's have a look at DDO players, Gale Force 9, Curse of Straw, DM screen, and Taroka deck reviews.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a chance, or at least I did, I should say. When I say we, being me, had a chance to look at the DM screen for Curse of Strahd and the Taroka deck from our friends over at Gale Force 9. You can read my full review over at the site that I posted. But spoiler alert, I liked them both.
What a shock.
I did have a few little minor nitpicks. Like on the DM screen, I wish they would have chose a few different graphics for it. But overall, I liked it. And the Taroka deck, I think, will really make your game a little bit more immersive because you can actually have Madame Ava do her reading with the actual Taroka deck, and you can actually pull have the players pull their fortune from the Taroka deck. So. And the cards were amazing graphics and artwork on the cards. So hats off to Gale Force 9 for the wonderful job they did on the cards. So head over to our site to read the full review. But as I said, spoiler alert, I liked them. And we would like to thank Gale Force 9 for sending those over for review.
And I hear that you've also had a little bit of review of little Munchkin thing, where the Munchkins have decided to invade the Marvel Universe.
I did. And now whoever would have thought to combine Munchkin with the Marvel Universe? Because if you're familiar with Munchkin, Munchkin is let's try that again. Munchkin is all about going into the dungeon, opening the door, killing the monster, taking the treasure. So How in the world is that going to work with Marvel characters and Marvel villains? And the answer to that is it works darn well, is how it works. You almost forget the fact that it's Munchkin.
Almost forget.
That's how well done it is. But then the little Munchkin quirks comes in and you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing Munchkin.
Yes.
When you can do some of your, as I call them, screw-over cards. For the people you're playing, you will remember, oh yeah, I'm playing Munchkin. So gameplay is Munchkin. There's no changes. Well, let me rephrase that. There's a few changes from regular Munchkins. The biggest difference is you now have a player card because all players are playing an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and each player has a special power they can use. So that sets it apart a little different from regular Munchkin. And then the other big change, of course, is you can recruit Marvel heroes to help you. So you might have Spider-Man come in to help you, or Captain America, or Black Widow, or Iron Man. Those are just some of the heroes that you will find in the game to help you. And, of course, the villains that you're facing are Marvel villains.
Oh, what a shock.
We have Loki, we have Kingpin, and then there's, some other little just minor, like henchman number 3 or whatever, once again, it just draws you into the Marvel Universe. The only thing that I found odd about this, and I'm pretty sure it's a licensing issue somehow, There is no X-Men and no Fantastic Four in this at all.
None of those.
Which that was kind of weird to me. The geek in me was going, where's the Fantastic Four in all this?
If it's a licensing issue, the question is it a long-term or a short-term one? Because if it's something that they're still working out the license, it could be that the expansion will include them.
That is very true.
Maybe they wanted or perhaps their plan was to have an expansion entirely of one of those. So therefore, they decided to hold them off for that reason.
I did not think about that, but that is true. I should send an email over to our press contact that I have there and ask them about that. But yeah, I'm wondering. But other than that little small nitpick, it's really fun. If you love Munchkin and you love Marvel, you're going to love this. It's like a no-brainer. But once again, just like on the review, click over on our site and you can read the full extent of the review and see all of the pictures that I put up for gameplay. But be sure to check out Munchkin Marvel. It's available at your friendly local game store, also on Amazon and other select retailers as well. I think if you have a Barnes & Noble, they have it in stock as well.
Right. And I presume you could mix it into your copy of Super Munchkin or something like that.
You can. That is one thing, too. You can, just like all the other Munchkins, you can mix them all together. And I did mention that in the article I put up, because I'm I would love to see, Thor taking on the Dread Gazebo. That would just be hilarious to me.
Yeah, I guess that could be. I was thinking being at least thematically close with Super Munchkin, but I suppose you could also do it with regular, straight Munchkin or something like that.
Are any of the other Munchkins expansions as well, because Munchkin is designed to where you can mix and match, so you can just. So
it gets a bit wild when you do that sometimes.
Well, Munchkin gets wild anyway, but yes. So, and once again, thanks to USAopoly for providing the review copy.
Then let's have a look at the Assault on the Slave Lords series, where Drac took a little look as to what is in the series since they're planning to implement in DDO.
Yeah, and the reason why I did this is I saw on the forums there was a lot of people that were saying, I have never heard of this. What exactly are these modules all about? So I just did a quick little write-up, nothing spectacular, just kind of the overall story arc of each of the modules and kind of what happens in it. So you can click over once again on the site and see the full thing. And I did talk about A4, which of course is not going to be in the game because they're only doing A1 to A3. So if you want to know what we're not going to get in game, at least as far as we know, you can also see what's in A4. But so for those of you that have never had a chance to play this module, this will be a little quick refresher course for you.
Right. And it's very strange. The Slave Lords have an Airy.
They do. That is actually in the module. That plays.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the picture of the module. That sounds like a rather strange place to have a hideout for the Slave Lords.
I won't spoil it because that's kind of like a plot point in the one module.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how they work it in.
Right. Then let's see what is coming in from the dungeon. The Storm King's Thunder is the new Dungeons & Dragons storyline.
Wow, that was some awesome sound effects provided by our own Pineley, who is probably available for your podcast as well. If you would like him to provide podcast, send him an email and he will be happy to. No, seriously. Yes, Giants. The Giants are invading the Dungeons & Dragons 5e storyline. We told you what was coming. We had a hint what it was going to be, and actually all the rumors did provide to be true. So, the quote is, Giants have emerged from their strongholds to threaten civilization as never before. Hill Giants are stealing all the grain and livestock they can, while Stone Giants have been scouring settlements that have been around forever. Fire Giants are press-ganging the small folk into the desert, while Frost Giants' longships have been pillaging along the Sword Coast.
I presume that the people over in the Greyhawk Nation of Jeff will disagree on the never before part.
Well, yes, there is. So, yeah, we're basically going to have to fight a bunch of giants. This is going to be a 256-page adventure designed for character levels 1 to 11 plus. And the source book will give everything a Dungeon Master is going to need to create an exciting and memorable play experience through the Storm King's story arc. And this will also, of course, be included in the D&D Adventures League, so there'll be plenty of adventures for you to run, because that's all. Everything's going to be giants. We're moving away from the vampires, moving into giants. And Dantel in the chat is saying, this sounds a lot like Against the Giants. And you would be correct, sir. It does.
Yes.
They did say on the live stream that they had from Meltdown Comics in LA last week when they announced this, that they did use Against the Giant for inspiration. So you will see plenty of little harkening back to the Against the Giant series.
All right. That means at the end you're going to run into some drow in the basement.
Maybe we are in the Forgotten Realms. That is so.
Well, yes, I guess that's the more probable than it was even in Greyhawk.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, because this is going to be set in Forgotten Realms, so it could very well happen.
Albeit perhaps a little bit too predictable.
True. Yep.
Right, and I just try to think, how many giants can you run into at level 1?
Probably 1 when it kills you, but we'll see.
We'll see. So let's look into Volo's Guide to Monsters coming in November.
This is also coming as part of the new storyline. Of course, everybody knows who Volo is. He is going to give us a guide to all the monsters in Forgotten Realms. But there is a little hitch here. Since he's in the Forgotten Realms, our friend Elminster, he thinks Volo got some things wrong. So it looks like Volo and Elminster are going to square off. Of course, we're talking academically with a friendly debate over the different monsters of Forgotten Realms. You're going to be able to gain access to rules and a new story for dozens of new monsters that you can add into your 5th edition D&D game. And, of course, there'll be a little bit of surprises as well, Wizards said. They didn't tell us everything that's going to be in here, but there is going to be a couple new race options as well. The Goblin, the Orc, and the Fireblog.
The Fireblog?
I am wanting to play an Orc. I think that would be cool to play an Orc. Goblin, Goblin's kind of like kobolds to me. Who needs them? They're just goblins. They're only kobolds. But an Orc, that would be pretty cool to play an Orc. Mm-hmm. So this will be coming in November, and you can use this, of course, with the new storyline. And you can, or if not, if you just have like a homebrew setting, you can throw some of these new monsters or race options into your home game as well.
Well, that's going to be quite interesting. A new guide to monsters. Yeah. So let's then head into Force Grey, who had Giant Hunters weekly show coming later this summer. Is this related to the Storm King?
It is. This is going to be a new weekly show that is coming from the Nerdist. What it is our wonderful, everybody loves him, Dungeon Master Matt Mercer, you might know from Critical Role, is going to be the Dungeon Master, and he is going to be running through players through a storyline he is developing with Wizards to coincide with the Storm King's Thunder. And you might know, well, let me rephrase that. Most people listening to this podcast will know these people. Pineleaf will not, because Pineleaf does not know pop culture. So I'll be surprised if he knows anybody on this list. But Chris Hardwick is going to be playing a wizard. And let me guess, you don't know who he is, do you? I didn't think so. Ashley Johnson is going to be playing a half-orc cleric. And you might know her from NBC's Blind Spot, and she is also on Critical Role. Once again, not ringing any bells for Pineleaf. Moving on. So Shelby Farrow, who you might know from Key and Peele. She is a writer and also a stand-up comedian. She's going to be playing a dwarf fighter. The cool thing about her is she's going to have a floating shield, and she has a crippling fear of heights. So we'll see how that works in, since they're...
When you're fighting giants?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting to see how that works out for her. And Jonah Ray is also going to be in this group of people. We didn't hear what kind of character he is playing, so we can only... Oh, I'm sorry. He is going to be playing a wise old monk who really loves fishing.
Well, at least I'll know him in the near future if he's going to be involved in MST3K.
Yes, he is going to be in that, so you will know him. And then we also have Brian, and I can never pronounce his name right. I think it's Poshin, but I always pronounce it wrong. He is an amazing comedian. I'm sure you know him. He's had bit parts in plenty of TV shows. He is also going to be in the game as well, and he is also one of the longtime D&D players, and he always touts his love for D&D. He's just a big old nerd, basically.
It sounds like he's appropriately playing the bard.
Yes, and he is the bard. And once again, I did say Matt Mercer is going to be the DM, and Matt Mercer is on the scale of DMing with Chris Perkins.
So here's my question then. Why did you skip past Uthkarash Ambudkar?
Because I scrolled down too far.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that up. He is an actor, a singer, and the rapper extraordinaire. He can be seen in Pitch Perfect and the Mindy Projects. He is going to be drawing on his talents as he's going to be playing a wisecracking rogue.
Yeah, a rapper being a wisecracking rogue sounds appropriate.
Makes sense, does it not? So, yep, as I said, this is coming from the Nerdist, so you can find it over on the Nerdist channel, and it's going to be starting later this summer on Nerdist.com. They didn't say exactly when, but we will keep you updated.
And I guess it should be no surprise to anyone that WizKids has announced a new set of D&D miniatures for Icons of the Realms, and look at this. It's involving Storm King's Thunder.
Yeah, just these giants are taking over. I'm telling you, it's like Storm King's everything in the D&D world right now. That's right. As you said, no surprise. WizKids usually jumps right on this to bring you some great minis to use in your game.
I'm just wondering, because it so happens that in the current storyline on Girl Genius, they are... One of the major plot threads through the series is someone called the Storm King, and the last few did involve this Storm King. It's a completely different Storm King that's in the DDO. It's just interesting that the names are coming in from two different directions.
Yeah, that is kind of
directions. Yes,
is kind of interesting. But the Icons of the Realms will be available later this summer as well, so you can start buying those and trying to complete your collection. There's going to be 44 figures in the set, and of course, as always, they are randomly sorted in the packs, so you gotta buy them all to try to collect all 44.
Oh joy! And how many come in each pack?
The packs have 4.
4. Is it something like one big one and 3 smaller ones?
Usually that's how they do it, but they didn't say if they were doing it that way this time or not. But most of the older versions of the other Icons of the Realms they have been that way.
All right, so that will fit in perfectly with this one since it does involve giants. So guess what's going to be the big figure?
I'm guessing maybe a giant, just saying.
Just a possibility.
So yeah, look for that later this summer if you want to add some Storm King's Thunder minis to your game as you're running through the new storyline.
And what should be a shock to no one, Storm King's Thunder is heading to Neverwinter on the PC in August.
That's right. Adventurers will jump into the latest storyline in the Neverwinter game as well. As you travel north to Bryn Shander, of course, the capital of Icewind Dale, you're going to investigate a sudden presence of frost giants into the region. No visit to the Icewind Dale should be complete without the help from Canterbury and Wolfgar. Of course, those are characters from R.A. Salvatore's novels, who you might know. They have a friend that's some drow that everybody is excited about, but I don't know who he is. They are going to aid adventurers in their quest.
Hey, we have an entire board game based on that guy.
That's right. Yep, they will be helping you as you're taking on the giants. High-level adventurers will also experience a new campaign, which is going to take them across 3 new adventure zones in Neverwinter, and story content will be included as well. It's the latest expansion to Neverwinter coming later this summer, like everything. But that is not all. Neverwinter also announced they are going to be hopping onto the PS4. Currently, they are on PC and Xbox One. But soon, once again, later this summer, everything is always later this summer.
Right.
We'll jump into PS4. And the cool thing about the PS4 version is it is going to be available to all PlayStation 4 owners. It will not require you to have the PlayStation Plus, which is usually kind of odd because all the other free-to-play games that are on PS4, you must have that PlayStation Plus subscription, not Neverwinter. So if you have a PS4, you'll be able to jump right in. Once again, later this summer.
Now, K-Bree and Wolfgar, I also run into those two in the board game also.
Oh, that's right. They are in there, aren't they?
They are in there.
I forgot they were in there, but you're right. It's been so long since I played that board game, but yeah, you were correct.
Then let's see what's on the tabletop, where WizKids has announced a new Dungeons & Dragons board game, Assault of the Giants. Oh, what a coincidence.
I was going to say, let me guess. Does it involve giants, maybe?
Yes. There was some speculation that it could be a D&D Adventures game, but apparently not.
Those rumors were not correct. Assault of the Giants will be designed by Andrew Parks, and it's going to be a 2 to 6 player game. It's going to challenge the players to command one of the 6 types of giants and claim the right to rule over all of giant kind. You will command giants and assault settlements to score points and secure important resources, which will include food, treasures, ore, and ruins. This is going to contain 14 giant miniatures measuring approximately 4 inches to 5.5 inches in height. So those are going to be some honking big minis.
Yeah.
Assault of the Giants is scheduled for release not this summer, but in spring of 2017. With get this, a manufacturer's retail suggested price of $99.99.
All right.
So $100 for a board game.
It's not enticing me at the moment.
Well, I'm assuming part of that cost is the 14 5.5-inch giants they're giving you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's involved. Yeah.
But still, man, $100 for a board game. But we'll see. But yeah, look for that spring of 2017 is all they said.
I won't say that I've never spent $100 on a board game.
Well, yeah, it's not out of the norm to have a board game price that. Usually they're between $50 and $60. There's a few that aren't, but just $100. I'm just thinking, do I really want to spend $100 on a board game? I don't know. It's crazy to me, but people do it. It sounds cool. It looks cool. At least the box shot looks cool. We haven't actually seen any shots of inside the board game or anything. But of course, if WizKids does release anything like that, we will pass that along to you. But so save up those pennies now for that Assault of the Giants coming spring of 2017.
Right. Then let's head into the next bit of news where Mayfair Games acquires Twilight Games. And what does that mean to me?
This doesn't mean anything to you because you don't play zombies.
Well, there's a point there.
The biggest thing is the Zombies game should be available in more places now because Mayfair Games, as you said, did acquire Twilight Creations. Twilight Creations is still going to be around. They are not going away. Mayfair Games is just going to distribute zombies. They are going to be their own entity. But Mayfair Games is purchasing what they are calling a controlling interest in Twilight Creations. And, of course, Twilight Creations is known for their zombies games. That is their big, big game. A few changes are going to be coming with this. Basically, the biggest thing is, as I said, it's going to be available in more places. So it is a good thing. And another thing is you're going to see them at more conventions like Origins, which is coming up in a few weeks. Twilight Creations was not going to be there, but with this merger, they are now going to be there. You are going to be able to find zombies all over the Mayfair booth at Origins if you were so happen to go in Columbus, Ohio, June 15th to the 19th. You will see a big selection of the Zombies board game in Mayfair's booth. And also at Gen Con, they are going to each have a booth, but you're going to find zombies over in the Mayfair side and at the Twilight Creations booth as well. And the end of the press release, they did put a little teaser too. They said, "We are very excited about the possibilities ahead of us, and we hope you'll join us in the zombie adventure to come. Stay tuned for a big," and they put that in capital letters, "zombies announcement later this month."
Ooh.
So sounds like we got more zombies coming up. But yeah, so Mayfair Games has been quite on a tear because I can't remember the other company they bought recently, but it seems like everybody is buying everybody in the game board industry here lately.
Well, there was a spurt of that back about. Well, it goes in spurts every once in a while. I think we're probably in about the third spurt I remember having.
That sounds about right.
So therefore, they keep on happening. So then let's head into our week in DDO, where we'll go over what we were doing to play and.
Or what I wasn't doing, more like it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot this week at all. Let me be the first to say that. I didn't play DDO very much. I did do, of course, our weekly playthrough on Wednesday night last week with you, so I'll let you talk about that. The only really thing that I did in-game was kind of big. It was kind of huge. I did partake with my Wolflock over on Arganessen of the Shroud Raid with the damsels. So we had a bunch of wolves running around in the Shroud. It was epic, and it was awesome, and it was amazing, and the video should be up on YouTube now for you to watch. And as I think it was Alessa that said that night, she said, "You can always tell where Drac is. Just look for the red fireballs that are being shot." That was me. Shoot the fireballs out of my wolf's mouth. That's what I do.
Ah, yes. Dracula as a little hellhound.
There you go. So, yep, we did successfully complete the Shroud. It was fun. It was a fun time. It's always a fun time playing with the damsels, especially when there's a big raid like that. So, if you didn't see the video yet, check them out. As I said, it should be up on the DDO official YouTube channel because they do live stream for the damsels. They're part of the DDO stream team. So check that out. I will also add the link into the show notes if you want to check out the video and see the damsels with several guests taking on the Shroud. So, Pineleaf, what did we do in DDO, and what were you up to when you took on the temple, which I'm sure you probably did?
Right. We'll begin with my gnome warlock, where we started level 7 and went to level 8, and we did quest for House Jarasco. First, we dealt with a grave robber. Then we went into a haunted library that had a very tricky tile puzzle that took me a little while to get, and I'm sure you were more than happy to let me do it.
Well, I was, because my exact words were, when we ran down the hallway, I got to the top of the stairs, and I'm like, "Yo, Pineleaf, you're up." I'm going to stay back here and kill things. You work on the puzzle.
Right. Then we did Archer Point Defense, and this is where, at one point during the Archer Point Defense, because I wasn't sure exactly what the pattern was for them to make counterattacks onto the front, so therefore we had at one point split the party. Now, unfortunately, I had forgotten to purchase a hireling, and therefore Drac had brought all the hirelings, since he has this addiction to gold seal hirelings.
Maybe.
Yes. And as a result of this, I was there alone without any hirelings, and then I went to explore the area on the side of the building, and I was like rushed by green alert numbers. And let's say being by yourself with no cleric is not a good way to survive, especially when you're running that at elite. Yeah. And then after that, we ran Devil's Assault. Then on my halfling, oh, that's right, I created another warlock. This month I'm running a halfling, because before I ran the human, then the elf, now the halfling. So I created the character, and I did my usual warm-up where I would go through level 1 to get some money, since doing a veteran level 7 character gives you absolutely no money. And then the strangest thing that happened was that when I reached the end of the Earth Temple, after we finished everything and the boss was dead, my cleric thought it would be a good idea to first heal the Earth Elemental. I didn't even know you could target an Earth Elemental with a healing spell. I thought you would need a repair spell on them in order to heal them. But then my cleric was like, whoa, yes, let's heal the Earth Elemental. The Earth Elemental needs healing. Then the cleric healed me. And also, I really managed to clean up the area because I managed to get 200 kills just by doing level 1. I probably got a lot more if I went down to level 2, but it's my tradition to clear out level 1 and get to the Earth Temple thing. That's what I did there. Whew. And also, little thing, I usually don't bring up what I did in Minecraft, but this week I had rather, let's say, interesting experience on the matter where I was doing my video thing and I had just built this witch farm in order to try to get witches generated on them so I could get stuff from them. And I was doing the video saying how bad this witch farm was. I'd never seen a witch pop up with it. It was like the worst witch farm in history. And I opened up the door, shows them how bad it is, and there's a witch right on the doorstep who then throws the poison on me.
Build it and they will come, finally.
Yeah, they build it, they will come. Yes, the witch farm. So the witch farm. So during that video is the only time that witch farm worked.
That's kind of funny, especially since you were talking about how bad it was.
Yeah, I'm talking about how bad it was and building up how bad it was, all this stuff. And the only time it ever worked properly was when I was doing a video talking about how bad it was.
That's hilarious.
And that's it on that matter. And we currently have 25 supporters on Patreon. And if you'd like to help support DDO players, you can simply go to the donations page where you could support the Players Alliance on Patreon. And there you'll find fine rewards, including a mention on a podcast of your choice, or you can be a guest host with us here on DDO Players News. We did not receive any iTunes reviews, but we would love your support. But we do have a featured comment from DDO Central who left a comment on a look at the Assault on the Slave Lord series.
He says there is an option in A3 to continue the story to A4 without being captured by the Slave Lords in their council chamber. I would really like to see the docks battle within the Slave Lords, as that is one of the biggest and best things of the entire A series. And we did talk about this last week a little bit, that there is like a huge dock battle that takes place in A4, and that is kind of like one of the seminal events of the whole A series. And DDO Central is really, really pushing to get this included into the DDO version. So I guess we'll see what happens.
I hope they don't make it like an epic battle.
Oh, God, no. And for those of you that play Lotro, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. If you would like to contact us, you can send us an email at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Draculeta @Draculeta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. And you could also join our Steam group. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. Every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Academy After School. And you can join us for live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. But even though we're normally at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, there is going to be a special time next week. And what's that all about?
Well, I have a scheduling conflict, so I will not be available to do the show next week at 8:30 as we normally do, as Pineleaf said. So the show next week will be broadcasted live at 11 p.m. Eastern. So that is probably a little late for some people in the Eastern time zone. I apologize for that. But the show will still be on our YouTube feed and our podcast feed on Wednesday as normal. So you're still going to be able to get the downloaded version of the show at the same time as you normally do. It won't affect that. It's just going to affect the recording of the show. So if you live in a different time zone, or if you want to stay up a little late next Monday night, you can join us as we record live. Unfortunately, we're going to be Pineleafless. Pineleaf will not be joining us because he'll be sleeping.
Hello, Bobby, sleeping.
So it's just going to be me, but I'm going to bring along Mythery and Saba Jade from the Damsels of DDO.
So therefore, it'll be finishing up about 1 a.m.?
Probably. I'm sure hilarity is going to... Well, no, it probably won't be as bad because Lessa won't be there. But now that I'm saying that, maybe I should get Lessa too. Hilarity will ensue, so we'll see. But yes, so next week we will be broadcasting it still on Mixlr as we always do at 11 p.m. Eastern instead of our normal 8:30, and that is just for next week. I just had a scheduling conflict, and I didn't want to just skip the show entirely, so this was the best way to handle it.
And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.